Lisbon, 1840s. A city bathed in sunshine, steeped in history and haunted by whispers of a monster. Diogo Alves, his name a chilling whisper, stalked the aqueduct of Aguas Livras, leaving a trail of death in his wake. He was no mere thief, no common cutthroat. He was a spectre of the night, a heart of darkness, his weapon, the unforgiving pull of gravity. Alves was a study in contrasts. By day he was an unassuming gardener, blending into the background of the bustling city. By night he transformed into a predator, his eyes reflecting the cold gleam of the moonlit water that would soon swallow his victims. His soul, like the depths of the aqueduct, held a darkness few could comprehend. His reign of terror, though brief, left an indelible mark on the city's psyche. The once bustling pathway atop the aqueduct, a popular shortcut for farmers and travelers, became a road to dread. Fear, like a shroud, settled over Lisbon, whispering Alves' name on the wind. Alves' method was as brutal as it was efficient. He would lie in wait, shrouded in the aqueduct's shadows, his victims unsuspecting silhouettes against the fading light. Farmers, returning from the city, their pockets heavy with the day's earnings, became his prey. Travelers, weary from their journeys, met their end at his hands. A quick shove, a desperate cry, lost in the wind, and another soul plummeted to its doom. The 65-foot drop ensured a swift and silent end. The bodies, broken and battered, would be discovered in the ravine below, their faces frozen in a mask of terror. Each lifeless form served as a grim reminder of the monster lurking in their midst. The aqueduct, a symbol of progress and ingenuity, became a monument to fear. The gurgling water, once a soothing sound, now seemed to echo the death cries of Alves' victims. The very air felt heavy with the weight of his crimes. What drove Alves to such depravity? The answer, as with many monsters, was chillingly simple: greed. He craved wealth, the kind that came quick and easy, even if it was soaked in blood. Each life he extinguished was another coin in his macabre purse. He would rob his victims, stripping them of their valuables, their identities reduced to mere trinkets in his twisted game. The stolen loot fueled his desires, providing a temporary reprieve from the darkness that consumed him. But each murder, each act of violence only served to deepen the chasm in his soul. The more he took, the more he craved, trapped in a vicious cycle of greed and despair. He was a slave to his own desires, a puppet master dancing to the tune of his own depravity. Alves' reign of terror could not last forever. The authorities, spurred by public outcry and the mounting body count, launched a relentless manhunt. The net tightened. The shadows that had cloaked him for so long began to dissipate. Finally, in 1840, justice caught up with the elusive killer. He was apprehended not for the murders on the aqueduct, but for a separate, equally heinous crime, a robbery gone wrong, a family slaughtered in their home. This final act of violence sealed his fate. His trial was a media sensation. The details of his crimes splashed across newspapers, his name on everyone's lips. He was found guilty and sentenced to death by hanging, a punishment that seemed almost too merciful for the horrors he had inflicted. On February 19, 1841, Diogo Alves met his end at the gallows. His death, however, was only the beginning of a macabre legend. Rumors swirled that, due to his crimes and the fear he instilled, his head had been preserved in a jar, a ghastly memento of his evil deeds. This, however, is a myth. While Alves' head was indeed preserved, it was not subjected to any unusual treatment. At the time, phrenology, the study of skull shapes as an indicator of character, was in vogue. Alves' skull, along with the skulls of other criminals, became a subject of study, a grim artifact in the name of science. Today, his preserved head remains on display at the University of Lisbon's Faculty of Medicine, a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of humanity. Diogo Alves' reign of terror may have been short, but its impact on Portuguese history and society was profound. He became a cautionary tale, a boogeyman whispered to frighten children into obedience. The aqueduct of Aguas Livras, once a symbol of progress, became synonymous with his crimes. His story serves as a chilling reminder that monsters don't always lurk in shadows. Sometimes they walk among us, their true nature hidden behind a veneer of normalcy, waiting for the opportunity to unleash their darkness upon the world. And sometimes the most terrifying monsters are those driven by the basest of human desires: greed, power, and the insatiable hunger for more.